So what I'm hoping to do is, or what I hope will happen, is that the adhesive will be strong enough just to hold it in position. Once it goes off, I can carry on and do other things. There's not a huge amount of places I can stick this to, unfortunately, at the moment. But we shall see how it works. Try not to get this stuff on your hands, because it is pretty lethal stuff. Not very easy to get back off again. But you want that for this application here. So let's see what happens. We'll better squeeze a bit more in down there. Okay, so now it's just a case of letting that go off and coming back to it later on. Coming up to the other end of the room, we have the twin double socket, which was very badly put in. And as you'll see, originally, I mean, that's definitely the original socket because it's got a nail in it. But look, it's not even at the same height as the other side. And my goodness, it really is wonky. Where's my level gone? I'll put my level on there. I mean, what was the quality control like when they built these places? But hey ho, that's why I'm here to sort it out. What I need to do here then is, because I'm going to replace that cable and because I know it's disconnected, I'm just going to take the angle grinder to straight across the bottom. Doesn't matter if I cut the cable because I'm going to be replacing it. I also need to chase up the wall here so I can get up to the connection point up there for the power, so I can power the awning. One great tip I'm about to show you is that if you've got a tight area, like if you're next to a fireplace, like what I've got just to the left of me here, and you want to sink in some surface mounted sockets, or indeed you're going to put a new one in, using an SDS with a big chisel on the end is going to make one hell of a mess, and it's going to make all the edges around the outside crater and much bigger than they actually need to be. But if you go down to your local scrapyard, something like that, which is exactly what I did a little while back, you can pick up these old-fashioned chisel blades. And they're not actually chisel blades, in fact they're plain blades. Now, you may recognise them because they've got the big wooden blocks with them. But they're absolutely fantastic for getting a good straight edge, which is pretty hard, without impacting the outer area too much. So I'm about to show you right here. As you can see, by using the chisel, I managed to get a really nice straight edge coming across the top. And same again across the top. And obviously this will happen, and this will happen regardless of what you do. And then when I've got it down to the concrete level, which is what I've done on the top one here, you see I managed to get the edge pretty damn straight all the way around, with minimal cratering and splintering around the edge. Now I'm going to take the SDS and I'm going to take out the concrete block behind to insert the metal back box. But it just means that this is all going to be a lot neater and squarer, and also because it's so close to the edge of the fireplace here, if I get the cable out of the way, it means that this part of the wall stays intact, because if I hit it with the SDS, I'll almost guarantee that that entire section will just fall out, which means you've got to fill more area, and you'll never get a fantastic finish of it. I have 3 different sizes. This is the one I'm using at the moment because it's nice and thin. I've also got one that's a little bit thicker again and a little bit wider, and then I've got this one for my bigger, heavier jobs, and as you can see it's been well used. It's slightly bent, and as you can see I need to angle grind the metal off the back. You do have to be really careful with these because these can get really sharp, and every now and again, like this one, you can see it's all burring and splintering, so I need to cut all that off. They don't last forever, like with everything, but they are a very useful tool to have in your arsenal. Probably not the sort of thing that anybody's actually taught to use in this kind of manner. I mean, strictly speaking, they're not the correct tool. But then, what is the correct tool? To me, the correct tool is the tool that will do the job in the best possible and easiest way. See? So just a few nice taps, and that's given me a really, really good straight edge near the edge of the fireplace there. So one thing I'm also going to say about these is that they're absolutely perfect for items like Thermalite block, because their Thermalite block is so soft, these just go through it like a hot knife through butter. You can get a perfect edge all the way around. You can knock out the centre part to the relevant depth that you need, and then you can use these as scraper tools, just running it down the block, and you can get a perfect flat smooth surface ready for attaching your back box. So now I've reached the point that I need to put the cabling in between all the sockets. So there are various different options. I know which one I'm going to use, but just to run through them for you, I can use trunking, but that looks really, really ugly. I could continue the chases that I've made, go up into the ceiling above and then drop them down where I need to, but that invariably means lifting floorboards, and of course that is carpet and things like that, so that rules that idea out. So the other option that I'm left with, which I'm quite fortunate to have, is that I'm actually on a floating floor, which means I can go under the floor. Now to do that, I can either cut out big panels between the floorboards, because it's all chip and board, tongue and groove stuff, or what I am actually going to do is use SBC caps. These are 111mm size discs, and basically what you do is you need a cutter like this, which you'll notice has, I'll bring my finger around the right way, cutters on the side of the disc. Now that creates a chamfer in the chipboard flooring, which, as you'll see on there, creates that lip that allows the disc to sit in. Really good, really solid. You can walk across these all day long, but they're big enough that I can put my hand through the hole so I can push and pull cable to my heart's content. The cutter itself, as you'll notice on the back here, has 4 locking holes. These allow these pins to go into it, and that prevents the disc from spinning. It's an SDS arbor. You can get them for normal combi drills, but I prefer to use the SDS because of the size of the hole. It means that the large amount of torque that these machines create makes it a lot easier, and invariably the chuck on an SDS is generally better, in my opinion, than a combi drill. Also because I've got it and it's got a handle already attached to it, far better control over creating the hole. So let's make a hole and some dust. Now before you go cutting into the floor, notice that there's a nail there and there's a nail over there. So that tells me that there's either a joist running between those 2 nails, or they're running this way. Now an easy way to find out is to just tap the floor. And obviously you can hear that the sound gets thicker here and more hollow here. So it's definitely hollow in this area, and we can see here that when it was originally installed, the electrician or builder marked out the area where the cable will be. So I'm going to draw the hole here, and I'm going to do exactly the same thing where the other sockets are going to be.